You ever have one of those moments where you wonder if the universe is just sitting back with popcorn, watching to see how far you'll fall before you finally fight back? Yeah, that's what I used to think about, especially the night my ex decided humiliating me while I was pregnant would be the perfect send-off, his way of cutting the cord for good. Only thing is, he didn't plan for the day I'd take the stage and announce the twins' real father in front of his new bride and half of Manhattan. The bride ran out in tears. Poetic, right? But let me tell you, that scene wasn't even the wildest part of the journey. It started with snow pounding the Bronx, making everything look softer than it was. I was 22, standing in my tiny apartment, clinging to a plastic stick with two pink lines on it 5 tests deep, but denial's a stubborn thing. My hand was shaking so bad I could barely straighten the couch pillow for the 100th time. Maxwell always came late on Thursdays, rolling in after those business dinners I never got invited to. I guess I always knew there was a wall I'd never climb in his world, the same one that kept our relationship a secret. It's complicated, he'd say. My family is complicated, but I was so far gone for a smooth talk, it didn't matter back then. He walked in that night, still covered in snow, shaking off his Burberry like the world owed him. I remember the way he grinned about traffic, making some joke about Mercedes and Honda Civics that I didn't even bother to fake laugh at. My hand were clenched white. "We need to talk." His eyebrows went up. "Sounds ominous. Can I get a drink first?" I just blurted it out. "I'm pregnant. For months. It's twins." Let me tell you, his face changed so fast I could barely track it. That easy smile froze solid, his eyes going cold and mean. "Are you sure they're mine?" He asked it like a test, like a trap. And when I told him yes, he just laughed hollow, echoing in my little apartment like an insult. "Don't be naive. This isn't in my plans. A black girl from Harlem? Pregnant with twins? You think you fit in my world?" It hit me harder than I'd admit. He talked about his world of Wall Street and the Hamptons, how I'd never fit. When he tossed my ultrasound photo back on the table, I realized he'd already decided. He gathered up his stuff, his tie, his watch, a year's worth of leftovers from our so-called romance, dropped an envelope with $5,000 on the coffee table. "Take care of the problem. Or don't. Your choice. But don't contact me again." You know what I mean when I say it broke me? I don't just mean crying on the floor. I mean, for a minute, I wasn't sure I'd ever get up again. Watching his car drive off, knowing I'd just been erased. The week after, I lost my job at the boutique Maxwell's family friend owned the place, and suddenly, I was not representing the brand image. I called, I emailed, no one answered. It was like the world had closed a steel door. By February, I was sleeping in shelters, scraping by, lining up for free meals, watching Maxwell and his new fiancée Melissa in the magazine's Manhattan's Golden Couple. The caption read, "Yeah, that happened. The lowest point? Standing in line at an employment agency after 4 hours, only to be told, nothing for you in your condition." The snow stung my face as I walked out, skipping lunch to save the last of my money. That's when I met Rosa. She was standing in the doorway of her little restaurant, arms crossed, eyes sharp. "You look like you could use some food, honey," she said. She didn't care I was pregnant. Everyone deserves a chance. She gave me a job, and suddenly I was smiling for the first time in weeks. Working there, earning something with my own hands, it pulled me back from the edge. I told her my fears one night, and she just smiled. "You'll prove him wrong about everything." I believed her. Maybe for the first time. When the twins were born, Jaden and Zorai was scared out of my mind. I had them in the back of Rosa's restaurant, nursery cobbled together from crates and old blankets. While Maxwell was honeymooning in the Caribbean, I was nursing my babies, making them a promise. One day you'll have everything you deserve, and he'll see exactly what he walked away from. I meant it with every fiber of my being. Life didn't get easier right away. I got evicted. We slept in the restaurant's back room, lived off tips, survived on kindness from strangers. I remember one night, the twins asleep in their stroller, sitting on a bench, just breathing in the city. A cop came by, shined a flashlight, told me I couldn't sleep there. "Just sitting," I said. I wasn't lying, I was planning. Because if there's one thing hardship teaches you, it's that you can't wait for someone else to save you. One day, a librarian named Laura handed me a pamphlet for night classes. Sometimes investing in the future is the only way out, she said. I started taking notes during slow shifts at the restaurant business management, how money works, how to make it work for you. I was learning to build something, not just survive. Customers started bringing gifts for the twins' knitted booties, used toys. For the first time, I felt like I belonged somewhere. Music became my salvation. I told Rosa I could sing, and she put me on stage. Those Friday night performances became the talk of the neighborhood. The place was packed, tips were good, and I remembered what it felt like to have a dream. I started connecting local musicians with restaurants, building something bigger. I called it Starlight Events, and with every gig, every saved dollar, my confidence grew. There were setbacks, of course canceled contracts, near financial ruin. But we always bounced back. I learned to turn disasters into opportunities, to hustle with a smile. Jason, an investor who saw me working a fundraiser, offered to back my business. He became my partner in every way, investing not just in the company, but in me and my kids. The twins thrived, Jaden with his chess trophies, Zora on the piano, both of them with a sense of belonging I'd fought like hell to give them. We moved from a room behind Rosa's restaurant to a brownstone in Brooklyn Heights. Starlight grew into a multi-million-dollar company, event management, talent agency, you name it. One day, a gala contract came in. The client? Melissa Cambridge, Maxwell's ex. The universe really does have a sense of humor. Fast forward a few years, AM, running the show at the Plaza Hotel, producing the so-called wedding of the century. Maxwell's marrying Amber Reed, some influencer. He never saw my name on the contract. The morning of the wedding, he walks into the lobby and nearly faints when he sees me running the show. He babbles something about not knowing, and I just smile, cool as you please. Looks like you're finally paying me for my work, since you never paid for what we made together. The real kicker? My kids, now teenagers, walk up, running logistics like pros, spitting images of their father, but with something better, kindness, resilience. Maxwell sees it, and I swear, I watched him realize exactly what he'd thrown away. During the reception, I took the stage for a surprise performance here. That's right, the CEO of Starlight, singing I Will Survive, while the whole ballroom pieced together who I was, who my children were, and what Maxwell had lost. Amber ran out in tears. Guests left in droves. The next day, the headlines screamed, abandoned pregnant girlfriend becomes billionaire, buys his company. Some called it revenge, but for me, it was closure. Maxwell tried to make amends, flowers, apologies, pleas to meet the twins. I met him one last time at Rosa's place. He said he'd changed. I told him it was too late. They're not your children, theory, Jason's. A father isn't DNA. It's showing up, loving, and building something together. He asked if it was revenge. I said no. It's indifference. You don't matter to us anymore. You know, looking back, the real victory wasn't humiliating Maxwell or buying out his family's company. It was the life I built when everyone said I'd fail. The family I made, the business I ran, the community I belonged to. The revenge, if you want to call it that, was simply living so magnificently that his rejection became irrelevant. So what do you think? Was it justice, revenge, or just the universe setting the scales right for once? Let me know in the comments what's your take on forgiveness, second chances, and what real success actually looks like.